What is the most common mistake you see in young jumpers?
They're trying to run off their first phase and not actually jump. And it's crazy because so many coaches are going to be like, you're supposed to run off your first phase. I guarantee you.
What's up, guys? I am here with Coach Diino out of GCU Track and Field. He's the horizontal jumps coach. And we're just going to give him an interview today, talk about things that he's doing on Instagram, things he's been doing as he's heading into this coaching role. And I'm very excited to be able to have this conversation with him. My name is Jake Thompson. I'm going to be your host today. And yeah, let's get right into it. So Coach Diino, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So it's so crazy because I could tell you so much and it could be a lie. So I made sure I had my medals and my All-American trophies behind me. So you already know that what I'm saying is not a lie. All right.
Yeah,
First,
you got a lot of them back there.
Yeah. 4-time NCAA All-American from the University of Kansas, 10-time All Big 12 in long jump and triple jump. My PR in triple jump is 54.5, so that's like 16:59, and my PR in long jump is 25:11, so that's 7:90. It's crazy because the most important story that I will say just to start off is that I started track in 8th grade and my only goal was to go Division 1. So I cut off every single sport and said that I know I'm going to go Division 1 because my older brother did it, my dad did it, and my other older brother did it. And I said there's no other option for me to be great in triple jump. I wasn't one of those players who was trying to go to the NBA or the NFL. I knew track was my purpose. So I saw myself jumping far and being the best before it even happened, to where I got recruited by schools like Arkansas, University of Kansas, East Carolina, Iowa State. But ending up at Kansas, I ended up the best jumper that was there, but the second best performer ever. Ended up graduating with there, like I said, with all these medals, and actually trained myself in 2018 and 19. No coach, no trainer, myself, 120 degrees weather in Phoenix, Arizona, every day with all black on, and got 4th place at USA Championships, which is that top medal in the gray right here. Literally 4th place indoor. And then I retired, and now I'm a coach helping others do the same at GCU.
Sheesh. Wow, that's pretty impressive. That's crazy how you, like, 8th grade, you knew like what you were gonna do. Like, you knew you had everything figured out. So tell us a little bit about that. So whenever you started, were you like playing other sports? Did you, like, how did that happen?
So I was playing football, basketball, middle school, and what happened was I saw my brother go to high school and play basketball. I saw them not go D1 for basketball. I saw a lot of people like that. I saw them not getting playing time. I realized I wasn't getting that much playing time. So one thing that I did was I was realistic with myself. Not saying I couldn't be the best basketball player ever, literally, because I probably could, maybe. But I said, I like track. Even though I really didn't start it, I saw my brother doing it. I saw him lose at state championships in New Jersey, and I said, I will not lose. I said, I will be so good at this, even if I never tried it. So it's interesting. I did football my freshman year and sophomore year, but I never played. I was like the person who every single time I touched the football, I fumbled it, literally. That was actually what happened. I never ran far enough to even score or anything like that. So I stopped playing football and did cross country. I stopped playing basketball and did indoor track. So I sacrificed the things that made people cool in high school and said, I'm going to do track. I know the track team doesn't get as much clout or whatever. People want to wear the uniform and just walk around school with their basketball and football. But I knew that when it came to being recruited, I was going to be the best in track. And even though I wasn't my freshman year, my sophomore year, maybe even my junior year, I just believed. It's like I knew before I was the best that I was going to be the best. So it's not like I started off the best at all.
Yeah, that self-belief is like really important. Like, there's a quote, it goes like, if you believe you can, or if you believe you can't, you're right. Like,
Yes.
whatever you believe in your mind, whatever you believe in your heart, things are going to start to follow that. So if you don't have this sense of self-belief, like, oh, I mean, I don't have like good genetics, you're getting caught up in all of these things you can't control, then you're probably not really gonna do well. But if you just like say, I'm gonna like work harder than anybody else, and I'm gonna improve more than anybody else. And you have that self-belief, that's gonna take it's gonna take a long way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, and it also has to be to where almost you believe so much that it's unbelievable. And I'll explain even how unbelievable. I won't even talk about triple jump, right? I'll just talk about me being a Division I coach, doing things that are unbelievable, thinking the unbelievable is believable, even though it's unbelievable to everyone, even it may be you. Like I just told you, all right, September of last year, I was not a Division I coach. October of last year, I was a high school teacher. I was not a high school coach of track and field. I was not a club coach of track and field. But because of these medals, I told myself, I'm going to do so good in track and field in college that my career is going to be based off of what I did at Kansas in track. Because I know if I try hard enough, I don't have to show a resume. I don't have to talk to anybody. I'm going to do something that's going to take me the rest of my life. So somehow, just some way, I became a high school teacher, whatever. And like I told you, I was there and I'm like, I just want to be a Division I coach. But you know how impossible that is to be a Division I coach with no experience? Like not even high school, and I'm just like 27 at the time. But I believed it was possible, literally. So me believing allowed me to hit up coaches, which allowed coaches to hit me up. And then eventually somebody offered me. But if I didn't believe the impossible was possible, I wouldn't be in this position at all. I would still be a high school teacher, hoping and wondering that I could be in this position.
Yeah, that's true. And tell us about how you got into coaching. So you had this self-belief that you're going to be a Division I coach. So how did you get there?
So I will tell you that it all has to do with connections, all right? Meaning that the person who is hiring, I don't care what their stat line is that you see the person is getting hired, the person who hired them knew them or somebody that they knew personally, all right? Like I'm talking about friends of friends, like they know them personally. Me personally, the first offer that I had as Division I coach that was eventually denied was my father's best friend, all right? A top Division I school, literally. They eventually hired somebody else. But when that happened, I'm like, I wish I could say the school, but I can't. But just think a top 10 school in the nation. How could I even have a chance of being hired? When I realized that, I'm like, it's connections, because if the person who's hiring you knows you, then they don't have to go through all of this to figure out who you are, what type of person. It's an easy process. So in order to get this medal, USA Championships medal, I had to train at this university, Grand Canyon University, in 2018, 2019 in Phoenix. The head coach saw me there every single day by myself, no coach, no trainer, and saw me get 4th place. So I literally made the connection, hit him up, and was like, I saw online that they didn't have a jumps coach, first of all. So it's not like someone was there and then they're not there because of me. They didn't have one. So I hit him up, email. Within 3 minutes, he emailed me back. And it was probably 1 a.m. in the morning, when everyone's hoping that their dreams come true. I emailed him okay, I believe. He emailed me back and said, yes, we need a jumps coach. And from there, this is the most important part. Not only did they need a jumps coach, they were willing to bring me on without interviewing anybody else. They were willing to bring me on based off of me and him having a conversation and him knowing what I experienced. Yes, we had the conversation saying, I haven't coached anybody before. This is my first year, but this is what I tell advice from people. You don't want to take advice from anybody who hasn't gotten where you're trying to go. And there's very few people, even coaches, who have these medals or these trophies in triple jump. Very few. Even the best triple jump coaches in the world, some of them don't have this stuff. So it's the belief, not just from me, but also the person who is hiring me, to where Coach Flood, who's the head coach of Grand Canyon University, literally knew this guy worked so hard by himself. If he can coach himself, he can coach other people. He's a personality. He's great working with kids. I'm young, of course, and all the track athletes are 8, 9, 10 years younger than me. Great addition. And he, meaning the person who's hiring me, has to be able to take risk as well, because being a Division I coach and hiring someone with no experience is wild. So you have to have trust in them. So that's why it's like, you got to be a good person yourself. You can't just expect people to just give things to you unless you show how hard of a worker you are. Like, I was out there 100 degrees, 20 every day, all black on, no trainer, dying at practice, literally. So it's not like I just all of a sudden emailed a coach and I became a D1 coach. He saw that I was out there when nobody was there and it was by myself. So he said, that's the type of person that I want to hire my kids with. That's why I said it's connections. They know the type of person you are. They don't got to look at your resume. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's like another quote is coming to mind, like, it's not how much you know, it's who you know.
Yes.
So having
Yes.
that personal connection with somebody who gets the opportunity to know you as a person can take you a lot further than just having a lot of head knowledge but not being able to make that connection. And that actually, like, so that segues perfectly into what another thing I wanted to talk about, your Instagram. So 30K followers, you make content for, wait, why is this not? I'm pressing the X button. Here we go. So yes, 30K followers up here. You're making content for educational purposes, trying to teach high schoolers, college athletes, like, for example, NIL deals. Getting your name out there for people to see, like, that's going to take athletes a lot longer, like, in life than if they're just, like, hitting big marks, but, you know, nobody's seen your face, you've never talked to anybody. That's why...
Let me stop you right there, because I have to say this. The person who was #1 in the nation that beat me, I will say this. I was jumping. The person who I don't have to say was #1 in the nation, you look at his follower account, he has like 300 followers. Let me tell you the difference. Yes, that person could possibly get signed by Nike. Yes, that person could probably get signed by Adidas. But I know one thing, my opportunities in life are crazy just off of what I've done off of Instagram, literally. Because now I'll show somebody off Instagram and I can leverage so much more. So that's why I'm saying what I did in college is going to help me go through, because I got those followers from jumping at the University of Kansas. So that's why I tell athletes, like, you could be the best, but I promise you right now, so there's people who become #1 in the nation that people don't really know unless you're in track. They don't see them on social media. How about this? No, I'll even say this. There are people who you know who are horrible in track, but you've seen they have 50,000 followers, 100,000 followers. So yes, it matters, because I don't like when people make more TikToks than they have medals, but I will say that you need to make sure you're marketing yourself. You know what I'm saying? You have to do that. You have to use the opportunity no matter what division you are, because majority of people don't have that opportunity. No matter what division, JUCO, anything, majority of people can't even get onto a JUCO team. Majority of people can't even get onto a college team. So you have to say, I am the best. Like, I am that person, and you have to show your personality, honestly.
That's the truth. And it opens up so many doors to meet people, to do all this stuff. Like, I mean, just like personally, if I never started my Instagram, I wouldn't be here talking to you. I wouldn't be here talking to all these people that, like, I love having these conversations. Like, being able to put yourself out there and really market yourself, like you were saying, just gives you so much opportunity. And I think that a lot of, especially college athletes, are missing out a lot in this area.
Yeah, I don't think they realize the value that they actually have. And I try to tell my jumpers, like, because this one of my jumpers that I have, Jade, I was talking to, and she was showing me a video of her or whatever. She's on my profile as well. And she's like, yeah, I have this video of me doing this TikTok. And I'm like, you just don't understand. Like, because she's like 18, 19. I'm like, you don't understand. You showing yourself in a Grand Canyon track Division I uniform at a hotel in a mirror. You don't understand how many thousands of people will look up to you, never seen you run, never heard your voice. They just see you in the uniform in general. And now you're clouded up, literally. So that's why I tell everyone, put your uniform, like how you're a track athlete and you don't even have your uniform on in your profile picture. That alone will get you followers, literally.
Yeah, that's true. And then just that like personal brand that you can develop sets you like it can set you up for life after college too. So whenever track, if it's not in the cards for you to go professional in that, now you have that personal brand of 10,000 plus followers that you can leverage with other things in life. Like especially with how you've done with your follower or your Instagram following, this opened up a door for you to go to GCU and be able
Hmm.
to coach with no prior coaching experience. So many
Yes.
doors.
Yes. And even with that, it's like the coaches and the staff at GCU see what I'm doing on social media as well. So that leverages even more to where I say, like, Deion Sanders got paid not just because he was a coach, because of what he could do on social media. So people need to realize that he's not the only one. So many people think that it's like just Deion can be Deion. And it's like, no, he's showing you the leverage that you can have if you are popping on social media. Now, when you go to a Division I university, you're not just saying I'm a good coach. You're saying, well, but if I post you, all these recruits are going to want to come here. So I'm more valuable than just a normal coach. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm also trying to show. And GCU has literally allowed me to do that. I thank them because not every school is, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that not every school is really okay with the social media being flashy, all of that. So you have to make sure you're in the right environment, but also you're going to have to push limits because I am the only coach at GCU doing this on social media. So I had to do something and not be scared that they're going to say, oh, we don't want you here anymore, or no, you're doing this wrong. You're going to have to push some limits and just hope for the best. Because even at Kansas, I was posting arm sleeve grills and not everyone was okay with it because it was very flashy. But you have to realize if you walk into a room, nobody has met you before. So your personality, nobody's experienced it before. You can't expect yourself to be the same. You can't expect people to understand you anywhere you go. If you do, then you're already putting yourself behind. You have to expect that people are learning things new, the way you talk, the way you act, the way you dress. And going in the mindset like that helps you able to make videos and post them and not care what someone thinks. Because they never met you before. Obviously, they're not going to know the type of person you are. Obviously, when you make a video, there's probably going to be a negative comment because the person isn't comfortable with themselves making a video. So it's like, that's why I am able to post anything. I tell my athletes, if you don't think you should post it, go ahead and post it because you're probably going to get more views on it.
Yeah. And that's one thing that's hard to get over is that like fear of judgment. So you get out a tripod and you're doing your workout, you're doing like you're in the gym and you're getting people looking at you, like you're wondering what they're thinking, you're wondering what people looking at the video are thinking. Who cares? Just put it out there, you know? That's going to do so much more. And like once you realize that like people don't really think about you like you think about or like you're expecting them to, it makes life a whole lot easier.
Yeah, and I even realized on TikTok, once you get negative comments, that's how you know you made it big. Because, yo, I posted a video of my hair the day I got it done. And I asked my TikTok, rate my hair out of 10. And people giving zeros out of 10. And I'm like, okay, let's say the person did my hair horrible. A 5 out of 10 is an F. That means they didn't even do what I told them to do. So you have to realize the negativity just shows you that your video is going places. Like, so when you start seeing that negativity, that's not a bad thing. That means a lot of people who don't know you are seeing your content. That's all it means. You're going to start off, it's going to be just your followers. They're going to, your grandmother, your mother, whatever, your brother, they're going to put heart eyes, whatever. Then once you get that negative comment, like, what the heck is this? That's how you know, oh, more people are seeing my content who don't know me. You know what I'm saying? Your friend is not going to be negative on your post, but someone who doesn't know you will. And I want that person to be on my post because that shows they're seeing me.
Yeah, that shows that more people that you don't like already know are seeing you, and you're getting your name out there. People start knowing you, get those connections, and then like connections that you can make through social media is like so much more than what you could do just in person on your own. Like just being able to have the ability like in the digital age to like hit up like well-renowned coaches, hit up D1 athletes as a high schooler, do all of these things that you've never been able to do before. It's awesome.
Yeah, and I think people don't realize how easy it is to get connected with these people. And I'm gonna go more into like the manifestation world with this statement, because I've been doing this, but let's just give an example of last year. I said, what would I do if I was a millionaire? All right. And this is what you need to do, because a lot of people make decisions as if they have $10 in their pocket, and that's why they stay with $10 in their pocket. I said, if I was a millionaire today, what would I do? I said, I would easily just hit someone up with 1 million followers and I would just get them on my show, right? That day, I hit up Dylan Gonzalez, who has 1 million something followers, right? She replied, I said, how much you charge, whatever, for interview. I don't even think I said that. I said, like, we could do interview. She said, I think she charged like 500, something like that. And I want people to know that someone with $1 million, 1 million followers, charging you $500, that's like you're stealing from them, literally. Like you're literally stealing from them. So when she said, I'm like, I thought, what would I do? And I did the action. And that's what everyone who is making it big and rich, they're doing the actions as if they're already there. So she replied to me, because I messaged her like I was already there, not like I had less followers, not like I had less money, not like I had less clout. I messaged her like I was already on her level, and she replied like we're on the same level, literally. Like, okay, yeah, this is what I charge. Boom. No, like ifs, ands, or buts. Get on my stream. We do a collab post, literally. Perfect, no problems, anything like that. There are so many people that I have had conversations with million plus followers, 100 plus, because I've realized you have the same opportunity for someone with 5 followers to respond as someone with 1 million. They don't even realize that they got to 1 million because they were replying to people. People don't realize that. They didn't get 1 million because they just posted a video and now they sit back. They're replying to people. They're messaging people. That's how they're doing these collabs. They're on their phone more than you. You think you're on their phone? They're on their phone looking at their DMs. You know what I'm saying? They're just not replying to stupid things. They're replying to business, literally.
Yeah, that's the truth. Yeah, but 1 million followers for $500, that is an absolute steal. Because, I mean, how
it
hard is it
automatically
to get...
validates you.
Exactly. Like, it gives you the, like, social credit. Like, oh, yeah, this guy knows what he's talking about if he has somebody with 1 million followers on his show. So...
it's a lot more people that you think that even are rappers that I've hit up. The only reason I haven't collabed with rappers is because as an athlete, I don't think that my audience cares at all what a rapper has to say about anything. Even though if it will get me views, I just haven't got to the point to where, I don't know, maybe I could take that leap and see what it does, but I don't know what I could talk to a rapper about that I would rather have an athlete than a rapper, honestly. That's just what I think, personally.
Hey, you got Will Clay, athlete and rapper. Get him on the show.
Yes. Actually, it's funny because I was at the Olympic Village when Will Clay was there training, and his coach gave me one piece of advice. Like, this is why like, even if I go into triple jump coaching, like, I could tell you guys how most triple jump coaches actually don't know what's going on, but this guy he said one thing. He saw me jump, said one thing. I was hitting the ground as if it was a cloud, literally. It felt no pressure on the ground. It was just crazy. And that's what made me realize, dang, it's about the coaching. Most people are doing the wrong thing in triple jump, but only 0.00001% of triple jumpers actually know what they're supposed to do. That's why I put the post, there's only 12 first team All-Americans. Majority of athletes, like when I talk to my athletes, they'll say, that sounds crazy, this sounds crazy. I'm saying, I'm happy that you think it's crazy, because when I was an athlete, I was happy that 100,000 athletes thought doing certain things was crazy because they weren't going to beat me. That's why they thought it was crazy doing 3 practices a day, jumping with the weight vest or jumping in the pool and the same workout and doing an Alter G workout. They thought that was crazy. I'm happy because that's why they didn't beat me. So I'm like, don't make your competition happy that you think working hard is crazy. Like,
yeah, and triple jump is a crazy event. Like, humans aren't supposed to be doing all that, you know? Like, the amount of forces that come down on that leg is just insane. So, was that Jeremy Fisher that you were talking about? Yes?
Yeah, he's great, actually. He's knowledgeable. Very great. It's actually ridiculous. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, he was coaching Will Clay. He was coaching Chris Bernard.
Chris Bernard was there, too. Omar Craddock was there. Yeah, it was cool, literally.
That is really cool. So moving over to like more of the recruiting side of things, how do you think like building this social media platform and leveraging social media plays into high school athletes getting recruited into college?
Well, I have responded to people who probably have never gotten a response from a D1 coach because they messaged me on social media. So, me personally, like, I'll answer the question almost like, what would you do if you were a high school athlete in this age? I would DM college coaches. The reason being is because I just now realized how many college track coaches are actually on social media, because they follow me and I'm like, I didn't even know this person followed me. Like in their like University of Arizona, Stanford University, University of Texas. I'm like, I didn't even know these coaches followed me. And then I look at my story and I'm like, oh, okay, I used to email coaches in order to get in contact with them. About 10% replied, maybe 1%. Social media, this is what you have to understand. You just want them to see it, and you can guarantee that they'll see it if you DM them. I'm just telling you. And it's like, you may not get the reply, but I promise you they will see it. That's what you want. They're going to see it. And if you don't jump far enough to them, maybe they won't reply. I'm replying to everybody because even if I'm not recruiting you, like, I still want you to, there's so many other things that can happen besides me recruiting you. But yeah, it's like social media. But also, you don't want to just hit somebody up and you don't even look like an athlete on your profile. So it's like, if you watch my videos, it'll kind of, actually, I don't think I have too many videos of how to make your profile. But if you just look at my profile and you see me being myself, that's what you should do. Show your jumps. You know what I'm saying? Don't be one of those people who has the profile picture in 3 posts. It's like, I don't know. There's something about these high school kids that they think it's like cool to have an Instagram with 0 posts on it. It's just like, and they're an athlete. It's like, bro, or just stories.
Have
It's
that
like,
for your personal account, and then make a recruiting account, like where you're putting yourself out there. Like you don't have to pick and choose. You can do both. So
yeah, I have multiple accounts, literally.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, high school athletes really just like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, email, everything. Just reach out. You have so many different avenues. You're gonna get your like name in front of them, and they're gonna like be exposed to your name at least. If they don't respond,
And
that's
I'll say
fine.
this.
You can do it later.
I'll say this. Every school I got recruited by, I hit up first. And I'll name them right now. Junior year, LSU. I told my coach, knew the LSU coach. He like did some clinic at a school that was near me, and I was there, and he was triple jump training me. I was only jumping 45 feet at the time. 45 feet. August 1st, 2013, the LSU coach called me on the phone and said, we're interested in having you on our team. August 1st is the first day that they can hit you up. I jumped 45 feet. That is nothing compared to anybody who's top 50 in high school in the nation. But he hit me up. And that's from the connection. That's from me telling him first, I want to be on your team. Whether they were going to offer me or not, that's not in the picture. Most people can't even get a call back, a message back, or a look from LSU. So I'm telling you, LSU, going into my senior year, so it was the end of junior year, August, they hit me up August 1st because I reached out to them. Then I hit up every single school you can name up, but I'll tell you which schools messaged me back after I hit them up. East Carolina, Iowa State, Arkansas, and University of Kansas are the schools that I went on official visits to. Many more hit me up, like Louisville, some other schools. But those are the schools I went on official visits in, and I messaged them first. Literally. I jumped 48. And I'll even talk about the Arkansas. I jumped 48. Everyone knows Arkansas is not recruiting no jumpers that's jumping 48. They're recruiting kids who are 50, 51, 52. But I hit him up. He saw my video, literally, and he said this kid has a potential. And I went on an official visit, and I'm like, these are so good athletes at Arkansas, and I'm here. But I'm like them because they treat you like you are them, because they look at you like them, because people don't realize, yes, you may have jumped far, but these coaches are looking at so many other things. They're looking at the potential a lot. The great coaches are looking at potential. So that's why I was recruited by so many high schools. After 48 is cool, but we all know there's high schoolers who jump 50. So we're talking about the #1 jump school number 2 or number 3 in the United States or the world. In order to get there, it was a connection for me. Kansas as well, literally connection.
Yeah. And as a high school athlete, if you're just like relying on your marks on athletic.net or whatever it is to get recruited, you're passively just like waiting on calls and stuff. You're leaving so much on the table. You can get your video in front of coaches and allow them to see the potential that you have, the things that, oh yeah, make a little tweak here, tweak here. In coach's mind, it's like, yeah, he can jump 50 easy. You show them that, your personality, who you are as a person, like there's so many things that go into recruiting that high school athletes are just missing out on by not like, putting themselves out there.
Even if the coach doesn't want you, I'll give an example. Someone messaged me that I wasn't going to recruit. All right. But I'll explain how even if the coach doesn't want you to recruit them, it's still good to message them. They messaged me. I looked at like their profile stats, GPA or whatever, and I was like, I'm probably not going to recruit them. I sent a screenshot to my brother's chat, and we're talking about recruiting off of this one person. We had a 20-minute conversation about a high school athlete who I'm not recruiting. We would have never had that conversation if he wouldn't have messaged me. So just imagine, it's me, my brother's Division I coach, literally everyone in my family. They do like different sports or whatever. But so imagine you're in a whole conversation with a Division I coach. Even if he's not recruiting you, he knows who you are. He's having a conversation, talking to other people about you. So that's what happens. Literally, we're like not just on the track. We have time on our hands. You know what I'm saying? We are checking our phone. So it's like, send those DMs in. Like, you'd rather have a no, so you know it's a no, rather than no reply. Like, literally.
Yeah. And even if you don't get a no, sometimes you'll get a, well, you're not there yet, but you might be able to get there. And that's just like, you got to know where you're at. Some schools, they have certain standards you just got to hit, but you got to know where they are. So
yes,
I wanted to revisit something. So earlier we talked about like personal belief and just like having that knowing that you can succeed. So as a coach, I'm sure that like that sense of belief carries on to how you see your athletes. Like you're believing in them. Do you think that like helps them like to believe in themselves as well?
Yes, because for example, first of all, on Friday, my athlete jumped 9 feet under what she jumped last week and a foot under her PR. And she asked me, how did I do? I said, you did great. She said, will you ever tell me if I did bad? I didn't reply, right? Today, a kid comes up to me on the team and asks, how did the jumpers do out of 100? I said 100. He said, but they didn't PR. I said, every meet is 100 to me, right? He's like, okay, but if I was a coach, I'd be like, nah, you need to do this. This is what y'all have to understand. I had meets where I did bad and I still became All-American. I don't say anything is bad because every meet that you jump, you're getting better. It's not about the mark. Yes, you want to jump a good mark, but I promise you, if you jump 50 and the next meet you jump 46, the amount of times you're jumping, the amount of reps is giving you a better performance for the next time because now you know what not to do. So what I said and what you guys need to understand is I said, yeah, my jumpers jumped at 100%, but it takes 150 to win. And he's like, oh, well, it's like the effort and stuff. I'm like, nah, I'm not talking about the effort. They jumped 100%, maybe a foot under, you know what I'm saying, what they were supposed to jump, or maybe their PR. It takes 150. When I was jumping, it took 150% for me to win. And that's what you have to think. So it's like every jump you jump is good. You can't think you have a bad meet, all right? It's not like you can't think this is a bad day, this is a bad meet, this is a bad performance. It's only a bad performance if you don't do it at all. Trust me. Because if I ever thought I did a bad performance, it puts into your head that you have the opportunity to be bad. You know what I'm saying? And you don't realize being at a Division I level, everything is good. Because majority of people can't jump what you're jumping. So you need to look at yourself as better than whatever that performance was. So yes, you may have jumped this. I'm still the best. That was great. I'm going to do better though next time. So it's like, I don't even remember the question you asked, but I know like mindset wise, I tell my athletes like everything is good. Everything is great. I'll tell them what they need to do to correct, But they need to understand the mindset of those who are the best is, yes, we are critiquing ourselves, but we're not ever in like a bad mood, like this is bad, this is horrible. It's like all positivity, because if you go into things with positivity and you leave things with positive, you just keep developing and you believe more. You know what I'm saying? If you tell yourself this was bad, then you're gonna believe that it's possible that it can be bad again. You know what I'm saying? I never jump bad.
Yeah, and like everything is a learning experience. Even if you feel like you didn't meet your expectations, what can you learn from it? And then you improve for the next time. So everything is just, as long as you're trending upward, it's good. You know, I'm feeling like compelled right now, because that's one thing I struggle with, is like keeping a positive outlook. Last Saturday, I had a meet where I had expectations to like really go far, and like my lower back just was killing me and I couldn't. And like now it gives me an opportunity to look at it and say, how can I manage that better in the future so that I don't have that happen again and I can jump far, so I'm really able to give that 150%, like exactly like you were talking about.
Yeah, and also I would not rate any meet unless it's nationals or conference. So that's another thing. You could do quote unquote bad at nationals, maybe, I guess, because that's the last meet. Like then we're like ranking the performance compared to the other meets. But in the middle, it's like, bro, who cares if you jump your PR right now? If you're not making it, if you didn't make it far, then what was the point? No one's gonna remember that. You know what I'm saying? No, you're not gonna have these medals. So I could have jumped 16 meters at a Kentucky meet. I don't have nothing to show for it at all. No one's gonna look at my TFers right now. You know what I'm saying? Maybe if I was still competing, but like it's like I have this to show because I jumped at the right time. You know what I'm saying? So these meets I could rank something was good or bad, but athletes don't realize you're training for the last meet. You're not training for the first, second, third, fourth meet. You're training for the last meet, because if you don't train for the last meet, that last meet is really going to be your last meet, and you're not going to move forward into the next competition, into the summer, into the Olympic Games, nothing like that. So that's how I look at it. It's like you're training through every meet, literally.
Yeah, that's the truth. It's like all these other meets kind of are just there for you to improve. You know, it's not like the stakes are super high. So any sort of stakes that you're imposing on yourself, like, it's not necessary, like, at all. And in a group, like a good training program, you're gonna like aim for that like peak of performance whenever you need to perform at your peak. So everything's gonna build up into that. So you might not be performing at your absolute best. You might even perform a little bit worse, but it's also that you can perform best whenever you really need to. And that's just one thing that is hard to keep in mind, because you want to be like at 100% all the time. But keeping that outlook is important.
I was stressed when I was jumping because I always wanted to win, but because I quote unquote didn't care about the performance, I knew that the goal was to continue on and be able to qualify. That's how I was able to do certain things. Like, for example, if we're talking about bad meets, like I said, conference and nationals could technically be bad, I guess, if the last meet. I fouled all three. I was #1 in the nation my senior year, and I jumped 3 fouls at Big 12 championships that were like 55-56. I sat down on the floor. My jump partner went to the medal stand, and all the jumpers who were ranked like 2, 3, 4 were like, why did he do that? And he tells me, he's like, look at him right now. He's literally smiling and laughing right now. He does not care, because he knows he's going to regionals. He knows he's going to nationals. There is no, oh my God, I did horrible at this meet. Oh my God, my life is over. It's like, I was just on ESPN. You know what I'm saying? I'm literally better than any jumper. Yes, I fouled, okay, but that foul is just for the internet to see that I didn't make a mark there. I still jumped far. I still got that rep in to jump far. So that's why I'm like, what is a bad meet? The whole point of every time you jump is to get more and more comfortable and faster and understand where your foot placement is going to be. That is the whole point of the meet.
That's the truth. Yeah, and you could have been fouling just because you're like sending it down the runway. You're going really fast. And that could be the thing that you were working on. Like you were working on your speed. And that's going to help you jump later on whenever you get in your brain how to take that speed in there. Yeah. So, yeah, outlook is so important in sports, especially in such like an individual sport like track and field. So, yeah. So I wanted to talk about your like personal coaching philosophy. So what's some things that you've been doing this season to develop your athletes, get them ready for the indoor season?
So the first thing is the mindset of them understanding that whatever they think is right is not right. Because if it was right, they would already be number one in the nation. They need to understand that a lot of the things that they think is right is not right. And they only need to listen to people who have been wherever they're trying to go. And it's like, there's this mindset that I had to be talked to a certain way that some people may think is disrespectful, some people may think is cocky, but I was told personally by my roommate this one day, your mindset is not what the top jumpers have. They already believe they're going to be there. There is no, oh, I'm trying to qualify for nationals. The person who's going to win nationals is not trying to qualify for nationals. They already know they're going to qualify for nationals. They're trying to figure out how they're going to win. So I had to be talked to a certain way for me to understand what the top people were doing. So that's what I try to implement into my athletes. When we're practicing and we do one rep and they're like, oh my gosh, like acting like it's the end of the world. I'm like, listen, before every rep, the point of this is not to be perfect, because you're going to jump different than I'm going to jump, than the person you watch on YouTube is going to jump, than this person is going to jump. You need to be comfortable with how you're jumping. That's how each rep is. Also, we're only working on one thing every single practice. For example, let's say we're working on like pushing off from behind you. One of my jumpers was like arguing with me today. It was like, yeah, but I'm not getting my knee up. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. I'm like, listen, when we do reps, 99 things are going to be wrong. I'm looking for this one thing to be right. Because if this one thing isn't right, I don't care if your knee is coming up. If you're not pushing back, you're literally not going to transition your speed. So it's so many jumpers who have their knees coming up. They're running high knees. Oh my God, like they see on the Olympics, all of this form. And it's like, but you're not transitioning your speed. Your first phase is literally 16 feet when mine is 19 feet. I can literally mess up my last two phases and I'm still beating you. So it's like them understanding the mindset of what it takes to jump. I'm trying to implement that, and also letting them understand, like, yeah, I understand you're maybe a freshman, sophomore, whatever, and you want to make nationals. I'm trying to train you to make nationals, but I'm also training you to be your best potential, and that won't happen in 1 year. If you cannot think that your best potential is going to be 1 year. You have to think at a certain point, I'm going to be so good that I don't care if I get better. That's what I want from you. I want you to at some point say, I'm so good, I don't care if I want to be better. And that was me at USA Championships. I was on the runway, I got fourth. I'm like, I'm happy with my career, literally. And that's what I want. I don't want someone to be like, dang, if I had a better coach, I would have done this, or if I would have transferred, I would have done this. So that's why it's like, you have to understand, I did 4 years of high school and 2 years of college before I came All-American. So if you're telling me you're not willing to wait 6 years, then you're not understanding how sports works at all. You're not understanding that you're going to do this year and you're made you good, but you're going to come back next year a completely different maturity, a completely different roommate, a completely different class schedule. Everything's going to be different, and it's going to be better for you because you're going to understand more how to come to practice, what to eat before, and now we're going to do a little bit better. And then the next year, maybe you room by yourself. Now you're watching more videos every day. You're not going out to the club, the parties, or whatever. You're staying there and focusing. Then the next year, you're like, it's my senior year. I care so much. You know what I'm saying? And now you're even more focused. So it's getting them to understand that it's a process and you need to have fun during the process, because a lot of times you're going to be stressed. But like, if you realize that you are better than majority of people in the world, you have fun and you trust your coach, you're going to win.
Yeah, that's the truth. So we're running out of time here. I just wanted to move on to the viewer submitted questions. We're going to be like a lightning round. Got a list of about 15 to 20 questions. We're just going to blaze right through them.
All right, so you want me to answer fast?
Yeah, really. I mean,
I'll give a simple answer.
Not
if you
too
want me
fast.
to.
Not too fast. You know.
I mean, I could give like long answers, but it's like, all right, okay. See how it goes.
Okay. So submitted by Nkokara Triple Jump on Instagram. Why do you think the Cubans are so good at triple jump?
Well, so first of all, it has to do with the way that they're running down the runway and their specific training regimen. So what I say, not like Cuba isn't in Europe, but Cubans and Europeans do run down the runway, I think, the same way, where they're tall and they're bouncing down the runway, and they have a long approach where they actually are at their top speed way earlier, to where they're not just trying to sprint through the board. They're actually able to adjust way easily when they hit the board. I think the way that they're training puts less pressure onto their legs, and they're recovering way more than in America, where we have meets back to back to back to back to back. I don't think they're doing that in Cuba or in Europe. I think they're training 6 months a meet, then they're waiting 4 weeks. They're on the sand in the beach. They're drinking pina coladas. They have massages, and then they're going to another meet. So I think that their lifestyle is track and field, where America, it's not as much. It's school, then track and field, then work, then argue with your boyfriend and girlfriend, then go back to track. I think in Cuba, it's more like, you're 8 years old, you're going to be a triple jump champion in the Olympics, and we're going to train you for that. And we're going to do things to make your legs stronger. We don't even have to do technique work with you right now, but we're going to make sure you're eating right, you're eating healthy, and you're going to be training to where when you get developed to this certain age, you're going to be good enough. And I think that's what it is. I think the training program, yes, it may be hard, but compared to the USA, I think it's better on your body. I think that personally, and I think I could tell by the way they are able to take off their first phase with more height, land on that, and bounce right up. You're not doing that if you're jumping back-to-back weeks. There's no way you're doing that at all. Your legs are going to be dead tired. You're literally going to hurt yourself. So I feel like they're doing a lot of things like jumping in the sand, jumping into the water, jumping on things that are very bouncy and soft. So they're working on their form, and they have a lot of time to work on that form because they're not trying to get 20 meets in during the season.
Yeah. Yeah, and then that's true that having back-to-back meets is just kind of like, it's really rough. Like
rough, but you got to do it in college, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Maybe fortunately, because I don't know. It's like,
yeah, I mean, you get an opportunity to compete, you know. There's positive aspects, there's negative aspects, but it's all just trade-offs,
Yeah.
All right. So next question from Suzani N. What is the most common mistake you see in young jumpers, both long and triple?
They're trying to run off their first phase and not actually jump. And it's crazy because so many coaches are going to be like, you're supposed to run off your first phase. I guarantee you, I guarantee you, none of those coaches have jumped over 16 meters if they're telling you that you're going to run off your first phase and you're going to hit 19 feet. I don't know one person that is that good that is running off their phase and able to go that far. What you have to actually think is a jump, jump, jump. All right, forget hop, skip, jump. You need to jump off of your first phase. So many jumpers are jumping so low. And when I mean running off, not running off, I don't mean like you're not keeping your speed. You are keeping your speed. I mean you're literally not trying to jump. Like you're literally just lifting your knee up and you're cycling. You're not thinking, I'm trying to take this out like a long jump. Like that person who asked about the Cubans, they're taking their first jump out 1920 to where it's already cutting off half the runway. So that's what I tell my jumpers. You literally could jump further just off your first phase alone. I see so many people literally just running off of it, but it's like, you have that speed, but you're not using your bounce. You have to use your bounce every single jump. So you need to jump more.
Yeah, that's half the equation is flight time. So the longer you're in the air and the more you can maintain your speed, the further you're going to go.
Yeah,
so,
you say flight time, I say hang time. Same thing.
Same thing. Hang time. I like that too. So, yeah, moving on to the next question from Monty. How far were your first jumps, and how did you know, and did you know you were going to accomplish what you did? I think we kind of answered this a little bit, but
My first jump was 36 freshman year, then maybe 41 sophomore year, 45 junior year. This is high school. 48 senior year, 48 freshman year in college, 50 sophomore year, 52, so 16 meters, exactly, so 52.6 junior year, and then 54.5 senior year, so 16.59. And did I know I was going to be great? I think my response should be, it didn't matter if I knew or not, I was going to do it no matter what. And that's what helped me be great. So
Yeah.
even if you like saying, I don't know, like it's about you're going to do it no matter what, literally. So,
Yeah. And it kind of doesn't matter what the result is. Like you're gonna do what it takes to get there, and you know, it's like
yeah,
a shoot for the moon, and yeah, you shoot for the moon and you get them on the stars or something. I don't know.
yeah, yeah,
All right.
exactly.
So next question coming in from Micah. Did you have any habits or things that you did daily that helped you stay healthy?
Okay. Now, are we talking about food healthy, or are we talking about healthy meaning body, like not getting injured, healthy?
In my mind, I was thinking like injury healthy.
Okay, so rolling out for 30 minutes to an hour. Most people stretch. I'll give this one piece of advice, all right? And you're going to think it's crazy, but your competition, whoever's number one in the nation, is happy you think it's crazy, all right? Because that's why they're beating you. You need to stretch longer than 10 seconds. Your muscles don't start stretching actually until like after 2 minutes. And I'll give an example. If you touch your toes sitting down for 10 seconds, all right, that's one. Let's say you hold it for 2 minutes. At a certain point, it's going to get hard. At a certain point, you're going to feel like your muscle is almost ripping. But that's actually you stretching and your muscle stretching. So most people aren't stretching out their legs as they should. And it's actually every time you're not stretching, your legs are just getting tighter and tighter. So let's say you stretch before practice and then you stretch after practice. You're actually only just as stretched as you were before practice. So if you want to get more flexible, you're going to have to stretch again and again. So it's like stretching more and realizing, I don't want to say it's possible to overstretch because you can pull something, but I don't think we should worry about overstretching because most people understretch. So stretch more and for longer. 30 minutes, an hour, that's nothing, because that's what I used to do every day after practice. That's not even the most times I stretched, because I stretched before practice, after practice, when I got home in the morning. So it's like 3 times a day minimum.
There we go. Stretching for health. Nice. All right. So next question from this name is like not pronounceable, so I'm not gonna try. What's the best way to get your name out there to get recruited other than jumping further?
You need to go on Google, www.google.com, type in over 50 schools. You're going to look at their roster and find the coach's email. I don't care what school it is. It needs to be the school that you want to go to, that and a school that you would even go to if they didn't even give you a scholarship. I'm talking about that type of school, like a school that you don't even believe that you could go to, that type of school, a school where the jumpers are jumping way better than you, running whatever, throwing better than you. You need to go on Google and get the coach's email. You need to send an email. This is off the top of the head, but you're going to kind of use it and add maybe only 2 more sentences to it. Hello, coach. My name is, like, let's say I say Dino. My name is Dino. I am a triple jumper from West Orange, New Jersey. I am a senior. I currently jump 48 feet. I would love to go to your school. Here's a video of me triple jumping. Let me know what it takes to be a part of the squad. Let's go. And then add your Instagram. I didn't have Instagram back then. I didn't add Instagram. It was irrelevant back when I was in high school. But only add your Instagram if you have some. Don't add your Instagram unless you actually have something that they need to see on your Instagram. Like, you could just send videos to them. You need to make sure that there's a video in there, because if not, they're just going off of your stats. So you need to email the video. Everyone is looking at the email. I told you, I got the coaching job at 1 a.m. He was answering his email. All the coaches are answering emails. I am a coach. All right. I don't get emails. I get DMs, because I don't even have my email up, because I just show my DMs. But yeah, everyone is on their email. Trust me. And everyone sees it. So that's what you need to do. Send video. The video is what is determining whether they're recruiting you, not the mark. I promise you right now, they're looking at the video.
Yeah, that's important. All right, next question from WoCW. What are target marks for a junior in high school to get noticed by D1 schools?
This is for triple jump? It said junior?
Junior in high school, yes.
48 plus, but I mean 48, so 1480 meters. This is what I'm saying, because it's like, I guess junior, so many people care about junior year, but it's like, you better jump far senior year. Like, so it's like, yeah, you could jump far junior year, but you need to jump far senior year. So let's worry about senior year, because like I said, how was I getting recruited by the jump schools in the nation my senior year off of a mark that was only 45 my junior year? Because of the connections and because of the potential and because they're still looking to recruit all the way into the next year. So if you want to get recruited junior year, I would say 48 plus. Anything lower than that, I don't think any coach is even looking at necessarily at all. But it's like kind of risking it trying to go just off your marks from junior year. It's almost like the same thing as just hoping that a coach sees your name online one day and you're not putting in any effort for them to see it, like putting it in front of their face. Yes, they're going to see the mark, but they can't even hit you up your junior year really like that. So it's like, that's why I say senior year really matters. 48 plus, but I don't even know if that may get you too much. So it's like, if you want to guarantee, all right, if we're talking about the top schools, if you want to guarantee 49, let's say 49, that'll guarantee.
Yeah, and as a junior, that's a solid mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think this might be last or second to last question that we're gonna do. What do you look for whenever you're personally recruiting high school athletes?
So they have to have a GPA that was higher than mine in high school. So my GPA was a 3.2. Now I might have went to a good school, West Orange, New Jersey, but the fact that, like, I don't want to say I played around in high school. And let's not even talk about the playing around. Let's talk about the fact that when I got to college, I still had to do good in school in order to be eligible. So if I had a 3.2, I was never barely eligible in college, but that's what you want as a college coach, for your athletes to never barely be eligible. So I know if I was not barely eligible at a 3.2, you need to have that or higher, I would say. It's also about the video that I see. Me personally, I would recruit jumpers who are taller, so 6 feet and taller for men. For women, 5'8" and taller, I would hope personally, but women could be a little bit shorter. 5'6". It's like I'd rather taller. But if you're not tall, if you want to get recruited by my school, literally, and let me explain what recruiting is. Recruiting is me knowing who you are. Recruiting is not me offering you. Recruiting is me knowing who you are. So now if you're on a list and the list is 10, 20, 30, 40, or 100, you're on that list. So that guy who I had that conversation with my brothers, telling him he's not coming to my school, I'm not like looking at him, he's technically still on the list. So even though I stated he's not coming to school, he's still on the list. Everyone who hits me up is on the list. So it's like, what do I look for? I look for potential. So the video, you have to show me a video. Nothing that you could do to make me think that you have more potential. It's like, I can't give you advice to, like, send me a better video. Maybe, okay, actually I can. A video that's sideways. Because if you show a video that's in front, I can't even see where your foot's placement, your cycle, your knee drive. I can't see anything, all right? So a sideways video of you actually jumping will allow me to know how much further you are and how much you can improve on, all right? The video is so important, all right? The video and 3.2 higher in GPA. And that's for every D1. I like, because I know, like, I was like, you want it to where when you go to a D1, they don't have to worry about getting you into school. That's what you want, all right? I never had to worry about getting into any school. So it's like, yeah, 3.2 higher, and just send me the video potential. If you're talking about a distance for triple jump, if you're a senior, okay, this is the thing. I don't know yet, but I don't think I could bring someone who jumps 46 into my program right now. But if I could, if they had good potential, I'm that good of a coach where I would get them to 16 meters based off of the form and the body build, because I know triple jump, it's 3 jumps, so I can get you further. So that's why I say it's the film. Please send the film. That is what I look for, the potential in the film.
Yes. And high school athletes, like, if you're trying to get recruited, if you take nothing away from this conversation, take your video like horizontal from the board. It's so much better than if you're taking it like from down the runway or like way past the sand. Like, you can't see anything if it's like front or the back.
Yeah.
Okay, last question. I really like this one because we were talking about potential and how important that is in recruiting. So, when this is from Trez underscore jumps. When do you know someone has potential to jump far? Like, what are you looking for potential?
So if I'm looking at the video, I'm looking at like how their distance is compared to their form. I'll give an example of one person because that's better. There is a girl who jumped maybe like 37 feet. All right. Now, I wouldn't necessarily just recruit any random person that I see on TFers that jumped that or any high school stat list that jumped that. But I looked at her form and it was bad, which showed me if you jump that with that form, that looks crazy. I know with my form, you're jumping way further. So it's like I couldn't even tell you anything specific because people who jump bad could have potential. It's like someone who jumps good could have potential. So it's like I would have to literally like it's like everyone technically could have potential in a way, but what I'm looking for is someone who I'm looking at running down the runway and I'm seeing, okay, did they jump a 30? I'll do one different from girls and boys. Girls 37 plus, guys 46 and up. That's the lowest. That's the lowest. Like that's you want to jump like 2 feet further than that, but that's the lowest that I would say you have potential as a senior for me to recruit you personally. And then looking at your form on the first, second, and third phases, seeing, okay, which usually the second phase people have is the worst. And mine was the best. So I'm looking, are you losing speed? Are you in the air on your second phase at all? How are you landing? So it's like so many different factors when it comes to it. So if you're asking like, what do I look for like in potential? That was the question, right? It's like, I mean, I almost would worry about trying your best because it's like, this is the thing. I could tell you, okay, you could jump like a 37 or you could jump a 46 and I could be interested because I can make you a better jumper. And then there could be another coach who'd be like, nah, you are very, very way better than Coach Diino thinks. I see this potential in you. So I think if I could give you advice, it would be to jump further, which obviously that's not like telling you how to jump further, but what you want to do is jump further and send your like videos out so that someone can actually tell you what you're doing wrong. I think that's even better because then what's going to happen if like a college coach or an athlete who's top in the nation tells you what you're doing wrong and you can fix it and you send that to somebody, then that's an opportunity for you to get recruited. Literally, you could send it to me even and I'll tell you. I tell people all the time what I think they're doing wrong. So if you're asking what I look for in potential or whatever to recruit someone, it's the distance, but it's also the video that they send, which is the most important.
Nice. Well, that's all I've got.
Sheesh.
Sheesh. So yeah, we went over a lot of topics: importance of self-belief and mindset, the importance of like personal marketing and getting yourself out there in terms of like branding, recruiting, opening doors, connections, very important. Then different triple jump and high school recruiting stuff. A lot of great topics. This was a really great interview.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on the show.
If I was to give anybody any advice, the last advice literally would be, like I said, record yourself and send it to coaches because they're going to tell you what's right and what's wrong. If you jumped far, if you have potential, like I'm talking about high level and lower level division ones, because the lower level division ones will tell you more if you have potential, I think, than the higher division ones. And lower level, I mean the schools that you don't see their basketball or football team on ESPN. So Grand Canyon University is looked up as like we used to be looked up as mid level, and then we went to a higher division now. So now we're going against the top schools. Like, I mean, we're going against Stanford, Texas, USC, like all of them now. So it's like higher level. So I would think lower level would be like those state schools that you don't see on ESPN. You know what I'm saying? If they're football, they don't have like basketball team. You want to send your video to them because like I said, those coaches will definitely tell you, oh, you have a good second phase, or oh, you have a good first phase, or oh, you have a good third phase. And that's what I'm saying when the person asking, like, what do I look for? I mean, you could have a good run. You could have a good first phase only. You could have a good second phase only. A good third phase only. So that's how potential works. You could look at one thing and say that's good. So, yeah.
Nice. Well, before we end it off, I know that was your final little message. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Yes, I started off the worst jumper at University of Kansas in my team and became the best, literally. There was one thing that I changed, and that was my mindset of saying that I was going to be number one in the nation before it happened. And many people may not believe this, but I literally have the video on my Instagram. I'm jumping nationals. This happened my junior year, indoor and outdoor. Let's talk about junior year because that's the first time indoor. Let's talk about because that's the first time I was at nationals. I jump. I'm in 8th place in finals. I jump, land in the sands. I look up at the board because we're trying to figure out what we jumped. I see it go from 8th place to 5th place. I don't celebrate. I'm just looking at the board. You know why? Because I saw it in my dream 50 billion times. I celebrated in my dream me being an All-American 50 billion times. So when it happened, it was like, that's crazy. I already saw this though. Like, it's crazy. Not saying that I wasn't excited, but I'm looking just like, that's crazy. Like, I literally saw this happening 50 billion times and now it's happening to where it's like I was right. So that's what, like, you need to be in daydreams and you need to live that daydream in reality. I was daydreaming that I was jumping far. And then in reality, I started to get that positive momentum and that helped me become better because I was daydreaming and believing that those daydreams would come true. A lot of people say dreams are fake. I'm telling you, you have them for a reason. You have them because that may be your happiest. You know what I'm saying? So you need to go towards that.
Yeah, that's so true. Go towards your dream and yeah,
Yeah.
go towards your dreams. I love it. All right, well, thank y'all so much for tuning in. It was a great conversation with Coach Diino. Go follow him on Instagram. And yeah, we will be back with more of these interview style videos, so stay tuned. Subscribe, like, do all the things, and leave a comment letting us know what your takeaway from this interview was. Thank y'all so much.
Sheesh.